The king of high ticket sales, world's highest paid consultant, media celebrity, multi-millionaire entrepreneur, acclaimed TEDx speaker, international best-selling author, Dan Lok.
Now, let me ask you a question. We're going to talk about today the art of selling to affluent Chinese. First of all, why do you want to sell to affluent Chinese?
They're affluent.
Because they're affluent, yes. That's a good answer.
And there's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them, yes. Especially in Vancouver, right? In Vancouver. I mean, if you go to Richmond, you see practically, I think I'm in Asia. Because there are people who live in Richmond never ever speak English. They just learn how to speak Chinese, and you can live quite well with that. Why else besides the affluent?
They like luxury goods.
They like luxury goods. Yes. Okay. What else? Why?
There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Yeah. There's a lot of them.
Largest market.
Largest market. Okay. In the world. Yeah. Now.
Biggest manufacturing, country in the world right now.
Okay. Manufacturing. So power manufacturing. Yes.
They like to buy real estate.
They like to buy real estate. Are you a real estate agent?
No.
Okay. But they like to buy real estate. What else do they like to buy?
Stock car. You have to work fewer hours if you have one affluent client.
Okay. You have to work few hours if you just get one affluent client. Yes.
Maybe it'll be like an untapped market because like Western people kind of avoid them maybe.
Untapped market. So the Western people, they may maybe not avoid, but maybe they don't know how to sell to them. Yes. Okay. Good. So let me give you a little bit of a quick background, even for those who know me or who don't. So what qualifies me to teach this particular topic? Because I only teach stuff that I live. So I was born in Hong Kong, and my mom is from Taiwan. So actually she's from Taiwan, and my dad is from Hong Kong. I immigrated to Canada when I was 14 years old. So kind of growing up here as a teenager in North America. So I have the unique privilege of being able to speak Cantonese, Mandarin, as well as English, both written and spoken. 所以我可以講廣東話 and我可以講國語 and English. Okay? So with that, and because as in China, in Hong Kong, in here, is there a difference in the culture? Yes? And I noticed something very interesting because growing up there and growing up here, that I noticed that the way that, because I started my first business when I was in high school, I noticed the way that both cultures, the way they do business are very, very different, yes? I would say in some cases the opposite. The opposite. So that's why Chinese, sometimes when they come to North America, they have problems doing business here. Vice versa, you have Caucasians who go to China and try to do business there, and that get their ass kicked, of course. Same thing. So when I first started dealing with the affluent Chinese, I got my ass kicked because I'm like a little bit like a banana. You know what banana is? Yellow on the outside, white inside. That's a banana, like CBC. So because I grew up here, I went to high school and college here. So at first when I was dealing with them, and I was like, what the fuck? And I was having so many challenges, and quite frankly, a lot of the affluent Chinese are a pain in the ass to deal with. and I wasn't sure like what is going on. How come I do certain things? And because when I deal with Caucasian, it's very straightforward. We work on a deal. You talk about this, you talk about that, and we sign a deal, and you just move forward. Well, not so with Chinese. Okay, because written agreement to Chinese doesn't mean shit. Okay, so and I learned why that way. And I study and I think, because one thing about me is I like to reflect. What I like to do? Yeah, most people, they make the mistake and they keep making the same mistake and never ask, why do I keep doing that stupid shit? Me, well, if I make the mistake, okay, let's step back. What worked and what didn't work? I like to reflect and think it through. And then I started kind of coming up with my own philosophy of how to do business with them, how to communicate with them. And yeah, you think whatever amount that you're thinking, how much money they have, I'm telling you, they have much, much more than you think. I'll give you a perfect example. I know an entrepreneur who owns a yacht company in Vancouver, those big boats. I was asking him the question, luxury yacht. I said, okay, so how's business good? He said many years ago, maybe less than 10 years ago, they were selling one. How many? One yacht to affluent Chinese per year. One. Guess how many they're selling now? 100 per year. And they pay cash. They don't need financing. They don't like financing. Like, that's the difference we're talking about. Not just real estate. Guess if you go to Mercedes, BMW, who's buying all those cars? We're just talking Vancouver, yes? Yeah. So, I mean, you can even on Facebook say, oh, those, affluent Chinese, they're driving up the prices and this, that. Oh, don't believe what the media is telling you. Okay? The media is designed to brainwash you in a certain way. I'm saying there's a huge market there, and there may be, for some of you, there may be some money there that you could make. Maybe not. But at the very least, I think you'll find it entertaining just to listen to some of these stories of what's going on when you're dealing with them. Sound good? Yeah. And my wife, Jenny, my father-in-law and mother-in-law, actually all from mainland China. So you can see I'm from Hong Kong, my mom is from Taiwan, I grew up here, and my wife, mother-in-law, father-in-law are from China. Now, here's the very first problem when when they're trying to sell to affluent Chinese. They think they're all the same. They're not all the same. Chinese coming from Taiwan, coming from Hong Kong, coming from mainland China, they are totally different. It's the same, no different than I say to you, people from Canada and US are the same. Or people from Vancouver and Quebec are the same. Are they the same? No, there's a big difference. Even within China, they have different provinces that even the language, there's a difference. The accent is different. The north, the south, the culture is totally different. The food is different. Well, when you got billions of people, there's some differences, right? So just knowing that the language in Hong Kong, they speak Cantonese. What do they speak? Cantonese. In Taiwan, they speak Mandarin. What do they speak? Mandarin. In China, they speak Mandarin and many other languages, right? But mainly it's Mandarin. And there's also a difference between the Mandarin from mainland China as well as the Taiwan. So just so you know. So, and like I said, I've built several multi-million-dollar businesses in North America, but just doing business back and forth, that'll facilitate deals in terms of tens of millions of dollars. Now, disclaimer, I didn't get paid on all those deals. I got fucked over a few times by the Chinese, right? So then I learned the lessons and how to deal with them. So dealing with them, you have to be, but once you know how to deal with them, it is interesting. And one thing I've learned is it's like people say, if you can drive in Taiwan, you can drive anywhere. How many of you have been to Taiwan? Okay, let me just explain to you how it works, or even in China. Red light doesn't mean shit. Okay? You have your car, you have motorcycle, you have like bicycle, all on the same lane. Okay? It's unbelievable. When you go there, all parking, it's a mess. Like driving is like a piece of cake. Right? You can drive and eat and listen to radio and while, just massage your back at the same time. It makes no difference. But seriously, like driving in China or Taiwan, it's unbelievable. Extremely dangerous. Like when I was in China, that's why I don't drive in China. Get a driver or get a cab, whatever. That we're going through the intersections. Now, you remember, so red light, right? Red light, green light, doesn't matter. You're going. Because if you're not going, you're not getting through. Because people, they don't stop. Like in China, in here, when let's say you are walking across the road, and then you have a car coming, right? Usually you say, hey, thank you very much, right? And then they would what? Stop, and then you go. Don't do that in China. Okay? Because they would think, are you like Iron Man? You have superpower? Because they're coming through. It's not their fault if they hit you. I'm serious. Like, just be careful. That's why you walk, you look, you make sure everything's okay, and you look, and it's your job to save your life. It's not their job. They don't watch out for you. So a lot of difference in culture. I want to take a moment and acknowledge you. Maybe you've been following my work for some time now, and you've been watching my videos for a period of time. I want to hear from you, how my work has impacted your life and your business. I want you to comment below and share with me your story. That's what gives me motivation, and that's what gives me the drive to create more and inspire more. And if your comment is very good, my team will pin it to the top. I do read every single one of your comments. I might not have time to reply to all of them, but I do read every single one of them. I look forward reading your story.